When I showed up at the hospital after my dad's surgery, the nurse at the station looked up from her clipboard and said, "He's not in his hospital room anymore." I felt like someone had just pulled the floor out from under me. "What do you mean he's not in his room?" The nurse blinked at me like I was overreacting. "He probably just went down for more tests or maybe physical therapy. Let me check the system." She clicked through her computer while I stood there trying not to completely lose it. My dad had just gotten out of major heart surgery 2 days ago and was supposed to be on strict bed rest with constant monitoring. His dementia was getting worse every month and he definitely shouldn't be wandering anywhere alone. "That's odd," she muttered while scrolling faster. "There's no record of him being transferred anywhere or any scheduled appointments for today." I was already moving past her desk toward his room. When I burst through the door, his bed was empty and made up like nobody had been in it at all. The IV stand was gone and so were all his personal belongings. "When was his last medication dose?" I asked, my voice shaking. She checked her tablet and her face changed. "He was supposed to get his blood thinner at 7 this morning. If he doesn't get it on time, he could." She didn't finish the sentence, but she didn't need to. We both knew what could happen. "Where's the nurse who was assigned to him?" I demanded. She looked uncomfortable. "That would be Brenda. She's on her break right now." Her break? My dad was missing and she was on a break? The nurse started making calls while I tore through the room looking for anything that might tell me where he went. She hung up her phone and grabbed a security guard who had just walked past. "We need to check the cameras immediately. He's a fall risk and he could die without his medication." The guard pulled up footage on his tablet and we watched my dad shuffle out of his room at 6:45 wearing nothing but his hospital gown and gripping his IV pole. "How did nobody see him leave?" I asked, watching him wander right past the completely empty nurse's station. The guard fast-forwarded through the footage. The station was empty for approximately 20 minutes during morning shift change. 20 minutes was more than enough time for someone with dementia to disappear. We followed his path through the cameras as he headed toward the stairwell. My heart caught in my throat when I watched him push through the door and start going down the stairs in his bare feet while dragging an IV pole. The guard was already radioing everyone and hospital-wide announcements started blaring about a missing high-risk patient. We ran down those same stairs and I kept checking my watch. It had been almost an hour since he was supposed to have his medicine. Every minute that passed increased his risk of blood clots. We reached the ground floor and another guard shouted that he'd seen someone in a hospital gown near the west wing. We sprinted through hallways until we finally reached the cafeteria. The guard pointed through the windows and my heart stopped. There was my dad sitting at a corner table eating scrambled eggs and toast. Like this was a completely normal Thursday morning. His IV pole stood next to him, still connected to his arm. I rushed over and grabbed his shoulders. "Dad, what are you doing? You just had surgery and you need your medication right now." He looked up at me with genuine confusion in his eyes. "The nurse told me I was being discharged today. She said I should get breakfast and then I could go home." "What nurse told you that, Dad?" "The blonde one. She came in this morning and told me the doctor said I could go home. She said I should get breakfast in the cafeteria and that someone would come get me when my ride got here." By the time we got Dad back upstairs in a wheelchair, a supervisor was waiting with Brenda standing next to her looking more annoyed than concerned. "I don't know what he's talking about," Brenda said with an eye roll. "Dementia patients get confused all the time. He probably dreamed the whole thing." The supervisor pulled out a tablet showing the security footage. "We know you weren't at your desk when you should have been watching him, so I'll ask you one more time. What exactly did you tell him?" Brenda's face went red. "I just told him he was doing well and could probably go home soon." "Soon or today?" Brenda crossed her arms. "Look, I had been on shift for 12 hours and I needed my break. He kept pressing his call button every 10 minutes asking the same questions over and over. I just told him what he wanted to hear so he'd shut up and I could take my break in peace. How was I supposed to know he'd actually get up and leave?" The supervisor's expression went ice cold. "You told a post-surgical dementia patient he was discharged so you could go on break early?" 2 days later, there was a new nurse at the desk when I went to pick up my dad from his actual discharge. She didn't need to say what happened to Brenda. The empty chair at the desk said enough.